Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another footy show. Thank you for doing your Thursdays with me here at the podcast. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really, really good. It's going to be a good round of footy. I think there's going to be some exciting storylines coming out of round 21. I reckon. Fuck me, it is crazy. Round 21 already. We have flown through this season. This is episode 9 of the podcast. Thanks for doing the show with us. It's been really good. I've really had a great time. I'm enjoying talking footy. It's good to have all of you engage in the comments. I had some really good conversations over the last week, particularly after I put up my round 19 review 2 weeks ago as well. So it's been really good. Everyone's been engaging, which has been really great. If you're following the socials, the round 20 review went up on TikTok and Instagram. The round 21 tips will come out at the same time as this episode today. But there's a lot to get through. If you're a bottom 9 side, I feel for you because the season's just dragging on forever, isn't it? Like there's no way that you're going to play finals now. I kind of feel for you a little bit. And there's just not a lot of excitement happening. But there is a lot of news. But I think if you are a bottom side, I think you have to just try and nominate a team and just lash yourself onto them. That's what I think you should do. There's a few really good ones. Orange looks good on everybody. That's what I've heard. That's what I reckon as well. So get around the Giants. You can get around... Oh, who else? You can get around the Suns. I think it's fair to jump on to an expansion side. That seems fair. You can always leave Collingwood. That there's too many of them as there are, and you can come and join us over there. But there's some games this weekend that will actually shape how the end of the season's going to look. And for the first time, we have some ripping Friday, Thursday, and even a Saturday night game. Oh, can't wait to get into those. Cannot wait. Footy's good. Footy's alive. Wow. And also, I think local seasons are wrapping up soon as well. I know that I've got like 4 weeks left until finals start. So if you're a local footy plugger, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how your season's going because it has been a long slog. And particularly for those that are at the bottom of the ladders at the moment. But yeah, let's get into some news. So, my God, Melbourne has been in the wars this week, haven't they? Far out. There's like 3 or 4 things to get through. First thing is the Stephen May tribunal decision was upheld. So obviously he went to the appeals board. The appeals board sat him down. After 15 minutes, they were like, not a chance. It's not happening. The AFL advocate essentially said that Melbourne had prosecuted their case very well for 3 hours. And if they had said no with the case that strong, then why should the appeals board? A bit stiff. I mean, that's not really the purpose of an appeals board, I reckon, but it's done. Alan Richardson, who is the head of Melbourne's football department, has said, as we've said previously, we believed we had a strong case. Stephen's sole intention was to win the ball, and we maintain that he approached the contest in a reasonable manner given the circumstances. While we are disappointed with the appeals board's decision, we respect the process and the outcome they have come to. Now, it's fair to say that everyone in the AFL community maybe is not on the same page. It's been very, very feisty. Look, if you're looking at this from an outsider looking in, which often we do as football fans, you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt, I think, because, look, we can't be... I know I spoke extensively around the Braden Maynard incident involving Angus Brayshaw and how I had said that he should be suspended for that. So I can't really go back on it and say that Stephen May shouldn't be suspended. I think that's fair. I think there is a duty of care. I think everyone just wants to see consistency now. So that's where everyone is at. I don't... Look, personally, I think on reflection... I'm not super happy with this decision, particularly, mostly because he actually has the ball in his hand. I think the Braden Maynard one's a little bit different, not to bring that up again, but it is a little bit different, and it is one that people have used as a bit of a reference point. But that one's a bit different because Stephen actually had almost 50% control of the footy when he collided with Frankie Evans, whereas the Maynard one was an attempt at a spoil. Anyway, we all know how that one turned out. But it's fair to say, like I said, the AFL community is up in arms about this one. I went through the AFL socials because I thought it'd be interesting to try and, I guess, read the room a little bit, read the room temp. A lot of comments about Toby Green, fair enough, too, suggesting that potentially it's not as dangerous an act as a Toby Green act. I mean, Toby Green's been in the wars this weekend as well. Tried to kick Dan Rampy in the nuts, which is just genuinely crazy. But Jamie Skippen, or at Jamie Skippen, had this to say, who is just one of the random fans that I pulled out. So by this logic, don't brace and just run full speed into each other. That'll end well. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we do have an unrealistic expectation of the players, I think, and it is easy to judge them when you have all that cameras available. Actually, that is what Jonathan Brown said as well on the couch, Fox Footy show. He also said the same thing. He said, I just think we have an unreasonable expectation on players in relation to how quick the game is now. It's really difficult for these players to react. We judge them in slow motion, don't we? Unfairly, I think. So yeah, look, safe to say that not everyone's super happy with this one. If you're an AFL fan, you probably have some strong feelings around this. Like I said, I just want to see some consistency now. As long as there's consistency, I think we're all going to be okay. Staying at Melbourne, the board held a crisis meeting today. Some key figures at the club are really unhappy with how the football program is headed at the moment. And there's some real concerns, specifically around Simon Goodwin. And look, the St Kilda dust has settled a little bit. And everyone's kind of pulled that game apart. I still don't understand how they managed to lose that game. It's crazy. You just don't see it. Like, it's pretty wild. So I understand the frustration. The incoming CEO has thrown his support behind Goodwin, which normally is an indication that Simon Goodwin is not long for this world. So that's not good news if you're a Melbourne, a fan of Simon Goodwin. I don't see how he can stay, to be honest. I also saw this really great meme. I'll find it on and then post it to the socials. But it's of Simon Goodwin and Michael Voss standing outside a Centrelink because they're jobless now. I mean, Michael Voss isn't there yet, but I think he's getting close. I think he's getting close as well. Another loss this weekend might edge them both closer. The other big talking point is that Clayton Oliver, literally no one wants him. No one likes him. No one likes the way he plays footy. He must smell really bad. There's literally zero interest in pursuing the player who wants to get away from the club. Him, Petrarca, all those guys, they all want to get out. There is literally no interest at all, and Melbourne themselves don't want him either. So they want to move him out. The club has signed a ridiculous contract, which they have tended to do, which has unfortunately kept him there. So it looks like they're going to be paying him a lot of money to play in the twos. Moving across to Brisbane, it looks like they're going to get some trade and draft capital in because Sammy Draper and Oscar Allen are set to get to Brisbane. It's going to be a fucking tour fest. It's going to be an absolute tour fest. Everyone's going to just want to just pretend like they're ruckman there. Both players are set to reject contract offers from Essendon and West Coast respectively to come and play at the Premiership contenders. The Sam Draper one is interesting because he has a really respectable contract ahead of him, and I think he's a restricted free agent, so they have the opportunity to match a bid for him. Oscar Allen, I think it's probably a foregone conclusion that he's going to go. Eagles will get a first rounder for him as compensation. Apparently, the medical team at Brisbane are the big selling point for both players, as well as obviously being a premiership contender. They're utilising Lincoln McCarthy, Alan Christensen, and Brandon Parfitt as examples. The one thing I think you do have to keep in mind is that this does come from Caroline Wilson. So not only should you take this with a grain of salt, you should also take it with a shot of vodka because there is probably a 95% chance that this doesn't come through, at least completely. Of the two that are most likely to go, I would say that Oscar Allen does get there. Sammy Draper, I think, would be turning down a lot of money to go to Brisbane, and Essendon have a genuine need for him. Brisbane are looking post Oscar, so they need to get someone in to replace him, and their ruck stocks aren't that great. So I can see what they want to do. If I'm Sammy Draper, I'm probably staying at Essendon. But what do I know? I'm just a guy who does football content for a living. So I don't know what the players are thinking. I've never been a good one. Port Adelaide. So the Hinkley conundrum. I reckon they've been so quiet this week. Anyone else reckon they've been so quiet this week? They have been so quiet. I don't understand. They lost by what should have been 100 points. If it was a wet weather game, they might have lost by 4,000. It was genuinely really bad. Really bad. If you're a Port Adelaide fan, I feel for you. So it makes me think, should they move on from Kenny Hinkley? I know the club won't make a move because they are so committed to keeping him locked in and to keeping to their word. So it really does come down to Kenny Hinkley. Josh Carr, I don't know if he necessarily needs to lead into the preseason. He knows probably what he's going to do with some of these players, and they might even be trying it now. We don't know. I still don't know about Josh Carr. I don't know enough about him. I know that he was really respected when he was at Fremantle. I know that the Port Adelaide officials and the fans really like him. I think you might be shooting yourself in the foot a little bit because you do have a Nathan Buckley out there. You do have some of these other really good coaches like a John Longmire who, you could potentially get behind. And I think that might be a safer bet. Like I said, the club won't fire him, but I do think it's going to depend on Kenny and how they go against Geelong this weekend. If they get belted again, I think he might just choose to kind of step away, especially considering that this is a home game for them as well, so it could be a little send-off. We might hear something ramp up maybe tomorrow or Friday, but we'll see. Miles Bergman's out for the year as well, which is not good news. This reeks of not wanting to play against Geelong. This reeks of not wanting to give Geelong their first goal. That centre clearance against Adelaide, where he went the wrong way, was maybe the cleanest centre clearance you've ever seen in your entire life. So if he plays, he's definitely playing for Geelong. It's crazy. No one's getting near Cameron this weekend, I don't think. Alira is on one leg. He was really good. Well, he was fine against Adelaide. Zerk Thatcher can't go with Cameron. He's too quick. They are still really lacking in their defensive departments. But yeah, Bergman's getting an arthroscopy, so I don't know what that is. But apparently it's to clear out any discomfort. And he's not in doubt for the start of the season next year. And wowee, maybe the biggest talking point, Jack Silvagni, a Carlton famous Blues name. I think he's a lock to the Pies. Fly McRae confirmed this in a press conference, I think, that he met with Jack. And he also expressed that he wanted to get a second round interview with him, essentially, is what he said. He said, you know what, you're really good, let's get your references in. He's out of contract at the end of this season, Jackie Boy, and he's an unrestricted free agent, which means there is literally nothing Carlton can do to try and keep him, or to try and get anything of value back for him. The AFL's secret herbs and spices, as Damien Barrett likes to refer to it as, will make this work in some capacity. I'm not sure what they will get back for him, but yeah, it's going to be a tough off-season for the Blues. I think that they look to lose probably Mackay. I think you have to trade out Chera. You could look at Williams as well. There's just a lot going on. Kenny Hinkley could be a really good fit. I know I said this in episode 1. I'm pretty sure it was episode 1. That Kenny Hinkley could be a really good fit for Carlton because he's so used to that atmosphere of a fan base that's really vocal. They're really passionate, and he knows how to handle it really well with class. So whether or not Kenny Hinkley goes on a break, I'm not sure. But if I'm Carlton, I'm inquiring about his services as early as next year. I'd be really surprised, though. I would be surprised. Damien Hardwick's really the only one that I can think of where he's left that year and then gone and coached somewhere else next year. Oh, actually, wasn't it Malthouse as well did that too? Yeah, might be a watch here. Might be a watch here. Look, there's some cracking games of footy this weekend. Let's get into the round 20 matchups. Some absolute cracking games. Oh my God. Thursday night, Giants are going to go fucking crazy. They're going to go so fucking crazy. They're playing the Dogs at Marvel Stadium. I'm surprised that the Dogs are favourites here. $1.47 for them to get up. It's a 7:30 p.m. game. No Josh Kelly, no Jack Buckley. Of the two of them, I think Buckley's the bigger out. Kelly has had a poor season, I think. I don't want to be disparaging, but he's had a poor season to date. And I don't think that I don't think that he is as big of a loss as Jack Buckley. But Aaliyah comes back in for hopefully a generational game. They're going to need to play so tight. Sammy Darcy and Aaron Norton are in great form. Harry Himmelberg will come back, I think, from playing on the wing, essentially playing a bit more defensive time. It's going to be a cracking game. I don't know what the line would be here. I would expect them to score quite heavily. This would get over 150 points easily combined. I would think that both these teams would score nearly 100 points each. The Giants are 6th. The Dogs are 9th. Dogs need a win to keep playing. Giants have a top 4 spot on the line. Giants are also without Toby Green as well, which is probably fine. 2 rivalry rounds back-to-back, really, for the Giants. They're going to be fired up. And if Toby Green was playing, he would have done some silly shit. I'm so sure of it. He would have done some really, really silly shit. I'm going to probably take the Giants in this one. I'll take them by maybe 2 goals, I think. 2 goals, an absolute shootout at Marvel Stadium. Would I be surprised if the Dogs win? Actually, yes, because they do have a really bad track record against top 8 sides, but I think the Dogs are a bit of a bogey side for the Giants. They'll get up for it. They don't have many chances left, the Doggies, so they need to move quite quickly. Friday, this one's going to be a cracking game. The 2 of the birds go at each other. The Crows and the Hawks. Adelaide favourites here. I think that's fair. I don't really see a world in which Adelaide lose this game, especially at Adelaide Oval. 2nd versus 5th. Fox Footy are tipping Hawthorn to finish outside the 8. I think that's a bit unfair. Hawthorn need to figure out what their best forward line mix is. In my opinion, I think you need to have Marby Trawl in there. They need to work out how they do that. I know Sammy Mitchell spoke about that as well at the end of the Carlton game in his press conference. But you can't leave out Mitch Lewis. You can't leave out Cal Shadir right now. Jack Gunston's playing career best footy. Do you go with the 4 tools? Maybe. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a really, really tough one. And Adelaide are just flying. They're just flying. The Crows, they don't really ever have Walker, Fogarty, and the Thrill Seeker on the ground at the same time. There's always a combination of the 3 instead of all 3. So I would also back the Adelaide forwards against the Hawthorn backs, I think. Pretty going to be a good game, actually. Going to be a really good game. There's about $1 difference between them in the odds. I think Adelaide win. Maybe, same margin, maybe 9 points, I think, is where it gets to. This first one on Saturday, this one's a tough one. Marvel versus the other birds in the Eagles. 13th versus 18th. I actually really liked how West Coast played their footy for the first half. I know Fremantle kind of kept them in it a little bit, but I like how they played their footy. I definitely... They have been the worst side, and they are probably still the worst side, maybe since Footscray. Fitzroy, sorry, not Footscray, since Fitzroy. But I just feel like there's an upset brewing here. I just feel it. There has to be at least one. I'd be really surprised if this is a really big margin. And this is the game. This is a danger game for the D's as well, because if they lose this one, you can say goodbye to Simon Goodwin. 13th versus 8th. It's $1 to $8 Melbourne's way in terms of the margins. This is one that you could probably not put a sports bet on. Or if you're going to put a bet on, I would put money on for West Coast to win in an upset. I'm going to tip them here. I think it's going to be a bit of a blowout too. 30 points. Harley Reid out for the season is a big loss, actually, now that I think about it. Harley Reid is out for the season. It's syndesmosis. That does make it tough because it's literally Harley Reid against everyone. Can they find a way to do it? Okay, I'm going to change my tip. It's going to be Melbourne. Melbourne's going to win this game. Melbourne will win it. I won't be convincing, but let me tell you, I won't be surprised if West Coast do win. I will not be surprised. It's going to be tough without Harley Reid. The 410 out at People First Stadium. Love 2 home games back to back. Fuck, must be nice. Suns and the Tigs. I also loved how the Tigs played as well. I thought they were really good against Collingwood. Collingwood, I don't know. I just don't fear them. I don't fear them at all. It's $1 to $11.50. It's probably fair. Gold Coast really beat up against the Lions last weekend. Rouse in career best form. Noah Anderson might win the Brownlow. Might genuinely win the Brownlow. We're the first one to do it since Gaza, Big Bad Gaza. This has the potential to be a bloodbath. If Gold Coast is serious, it will be a bloodbath. Yeah, I don't think there's a way that Richmond do win this game. I think Gold Coast get this done comfortably, probably to the tune of about 40 to 50 points, I think. Swans versus Essendon. This is another one that you can probably there shouldn't be any reason for the Swans to lose this game, particularly not against the Bombers, who are deplorable. They have literally no one left. I feel for them, I really do. But yeah, there is no way that they get up for this game, I don't think. The margins are $1 to $11.50, so for me that would be, maybe a 90-point margin. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Swans should dismantle them quite comfortably. I think, tune of maybe 90 points. And the Bombers, it really isn't about this year for the Bombers. It's about next year when they get all these players back and hopefully get a better football department in, because they are struggling. Collingwood, this is probably maybe the game of the round. Maybe the Dogs and Giants game as well. Saturday night, thank God, a good Saturday night game. This has got bloodbath written all over it, though, I reckon. I think Collingwood are going to be smarting. People are writing them off. I think Brisbane are also going to be really angry after being smashed last weekend. I don't really know where to go with this one. This one's a genuine 50-50. It's a genuine 50-50. If I have to choose one, it's probably going to be... I don't know. Is there any chance Tom Duday's going to get a game? What do you reckon? Maybe not. Maybe a chance that Jeremy Howe comes back in. Maybe Bobby Hill. Maybe Billy Frampton. The greatest one disposal player of all time. Give him the Norm Smith. I don't know. Give me Collingwood. I think Collingwood will win. It's at the G as well. Should be a good game. Sunday, oh my God. Here we go. St Kilda, they might never lose a game again. They genuinely might never lose a game again. Nasiah Wanganeen-Malira is the best player in the comp by some margin. It's not even fucking close, I don't reckon. He was so good on the weekend. St Kilda, I think, will... I'm so surprised. The line here is like... It's like $2 between them. I think it should be a bigger margin than that. I think the Saints win comfortably. I think Ross the boss says, you know what? Let's fucking score. Let's score. They'll win by 90 points. No, they won't. They'll win comfortably. 5 goals, I reckon. And then Alistair Clarkson... Some questions asked, maybe. The last podcast episode was a bonus episode, so if you haven't listened to it yet, I did a Fix You episode based on what I would do to try and combat North Melbourne's off-season coming up. And there's some things you can do, but I would be... If Clarkson's not there next year, I think you make a case that it's going to be really tough for them to get back. It's going to be really tough for them to really find any improvement. I think you have to stick with him. But I also understand them wanting to move him on if they haven't gotten any better. They finished 17th, 17th, and 17th in the time that he's taken over, and we haven't really seen the green shoots. There's been glimpses, maybe like that Melbourne game earlier in the year was amazing, and then they played Melbourne again and they got trounced. So yeah, I don't know. It's so confusing. Geelong will kick I don't know 30 goals against Port Adelaide. 4th versus 11th. Port Adelaide do not feel like an 11th place side. They feel way worse than that. They feel like a bottom 4 side at the moment. They are going terribly. Cameron will kick 11, I reckon. Cameron will kick 11, and yeah, I think he's going to kick the 100. I think he's going to kick the 100. I heard a lot of people say if he kicks it during the finals, it doesn't count. Absolutely, it fucking does. Absolutely does. No one ever is going to kick 100 again. Cameron's going to do it, I think, this year. He might do it in the home and away season. Geelong have a really favourable run home. Geelong can probably secure themselves a top 4 spot here, I think. Maybe not secure themselves. Maybe not secure. But we'll see. We'll see. It's at GMHBA as well, actually. So it's not at home like I thought it was. So I don't actually give Port Adelaide any chance whatsoever. And then Carlton versus the Dockers. Carlton suck. They suck so bad. They are, oh my God, maybe the worst 12th place side of all time. It almost feels like it should be like Carlton, Port Adelaide, Melbourne, they should all be bottom 4. And then there should be like another bottom 4 underneath them. Like they should be playing VFL. Maybe it's time to bring in a relegation system. A relegation and promotion system. If you're a bottom 2 side, you play off. Maybe to see who. Maybe if you're last, you get demoted, and then if you're 17th, you play a VFL side who finished first in like whatever the VFL equivalent would be, and then like West Coast, for example, like you'd take out them, and then who's coming first in the waffle? I don't know. Bring them in, and then whoever's 17th would play off against whoever's the VFL side. If the VFL side wins, they get to come in. Good promotion relegation system would be fun. I mean, the players there, they would struggle and no one would get any better. I mean, you never know. They could string some wins together. VFL boys are pretty good. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. This is... Freo are going to win this game. And it won't be close. Although it is going to be a really Freo move if they do drop this game. I'm just not sold on them. I did my top 4 seeds, and I left out Freo. So if you missed it, it's Brisbane, Collingwood, Giants, Adelaide. Those are my top 4 premiership seeds. People were really angry that I left out Freo and Geelong. I mean, look, if you're not a Geelong fan looking in, I don't think you fear Geelong as much as everyone else does. They've got a little bit of the Bulldogs about them. I think that might be a hot take, but that is my opinion. They have beaten, I know, some top 8 sides, but they don't do it convincingly. But yes, Freo should win. If they do a number on Carlton, maybe they move up the rankings. And if one of those 3 and 4th spots in Collingwood and Brisbane would move out, you'd think. So Freo might be able to jump in. Yeah, so I don't know. It should be a tough one. It should be a really easy game for them to get over the line of, but Josh Longmiller really hates the easy games. That's just the reality. So, yeah, that's the week. I mean, let's look at the game of the round. I think the game of the round is going to be Adelaide and Hawthorn on Friday night, or the Dogs and Giants on Thursday. If you're looking at a multi for either of those games, just put yourself around Bontempelli and maybe Tom Green to get 30 disposals each. If you're looking at the Adelaide game and the Hawks game, put Cal Shadir and Riley Thilthorpe to kick 2 or more each, I reckon. And then if you want to add a third leg, maybe go to Geelong and add Jeremy Cameron to kick 10 plus goals. I think he'll do it. And look, the run home, it's getting really tight. There's 4 more rounds to go. The ladder, obviously, top 9 is set. So there's 9 teams fighting for a top 4 spot. Well, for a top 8 spot, really. Probably 7 teams fighting for a top 4 spot. So there's a bit to play for. Gold Coast have to keep winning. Freo have to keep winning. Hawthorn have to keep winning. Giants have to keep winning. And the Dogs, I think. Dogs will still probably miss out. I don't think I have Hawthorn jumping in just yet. But, that's footy. That is footy. And that has been another footy show as well. Hey, look, if you've enjoyed the show, thanks for being here. I really do appreciate it. It's been really, really good. Episode 9. No. 9? Must be episode 9. I'm going crazy. We've done so many episodes. I'm really enjoying the show. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share. Share with your friends. Put on your stories. I don't know. Rip on me in the comments as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, send a message, send a comment, leave a like, subscribe. It all helps. We're currently at 50 followers on Instagram, so if you haven't followed us on Instagram, head across. I'd love to get up to 100, maybe by the end of the home and away season. That'd be great. We did 50 in about 2 weeks, so I reckon we can get there. Let's push for 50 by the end of round 22. So that's 2 weeks to get there. And on TikTok, we've jumped up to 810 now if you're following along. So let's try and get to 1,000 there. That'd be excellent. If you haven't followed the show on Spotify, it'd be great for you to do that as well. There's a lot that I'm asking of you, but it does all help, and it helps me keep doing this show. It helps Spotify push it out to potential new listeners as well. So have fun this weekend. If you're a bottom 9 side, again, like I said, just jump on a top 9 side. Who you think can win the premiership, and enjoy the ride, because once it gets to the final series, it's going to be a fucking cracker. It'll be a cracker. What I'll do maybe next week on warm-up Thursdays, I will predict my ladder, my first finals bracket. Maybe we'll do that, and we'll see how we go back end of the year. Anyway, thanks so much for coming and for being here. Like I said, really appreciate all of you, and I will see you all on Tackle Bag Mondays, where we will unpack round 21. Thanks, guys.